Hi, I'm Allison. I'm one of the founders of the Hollywood Climate Summit.
And I'm Heather Fipps, and I'm the executive director of the Hollywood Climate Summit.
Thank you all for being here. We started this conference because we weren't seeing climate discussed in Hollywood on sets, in offices, in writers' rooms. And when it was brought up, we'd be kindly encouraged to not get political. That attitude was reflected in what we saw in mainstream media as well, where there weren't a lot of climate stories even anywhere. And it was really confusing because climate was affecting all of our lives.
And at that time, one of the biggest barriers to the work was that climate change was such a scary and polarizing term. For it to be accepted as something that could be integrated into the creative process or even into honest business conversations, it needed to feel less scary to talk about. And that way the conversation could expand out of siloed rooms, beyond just the sustainability department, and into the spotlight of possibility. As the Hollywood Climate Summit has grown, we've remained committed to pushing the conversation forward into the places that still feel challenging or taboo, and to not stagnate in what becomes the new status quo. Every year, we challenge ourselves and our community to bring in new voices, underrepresented topics, and things that we see being left out of the conversation, even if they're a little bit scary.
And we spent years pushing the boundaries of what this industry believes it's allowed to make and who's allowed to lead the conversation. And collectively, we've gotten pretty far. I mean, there's a lot of momentum and enthusiasm thanks to the leaders and the creatives in this room. Round of applause for y'all. You've all helped it be way more sexy to be a climate advocate.
You know, I think there are some people who even have climate storyteller in their LinkedIn headline.
And in their Instagram, raise your hand. Who has climate storyteller media in social media bio or headline?
Yes.
Guys, get on the train. All right. Well, we're going to cut to 2026. I'm sure we're all feeling the intense backsliding that's happening right now with setbacks and powerful forces pushing us backwards to an old status quo. One that allows extractive industries to expand their profits no matter what. So yeah, surprise, it's taboo to talk about climate again.
And let's take a deep breath. Because we've all been feeling it. We're navigating major rollbacks and intimidation to avoid certain words in our missions and our creative work. We're actively experiencing suppression. We're coached once again to steer clear of the word climate and keep our heads down in this conversation.
Fear culture's back, baby. So let's discuss, because this space is one that can help us be brave again. And FYI, climate awareness and concern is actually at an all-time high. Most people do not support these rollbacks. Their actions show that they actually care now more than ever.
So if people care more now than ever, and most people are actually on the same side and page on climate, how did we get here? And why are we facing all of this major blowback if most people are on the same page? It's because getting people to know, care, and pay attention to climate was only act one of this story together. We've reached a new threshold that requires us to shift our attention and our strategy. Now it's time to shift our focus to the change in climate change. And luckily for those in this room, storytelling is actually the practice of change. So I want to poll the room. Do I have any narrative, story, structure experts in the space that can help me answer this question? What do characters do when they're against all odds, dark night of the soul, nothing looks like they can win? What do? Make a change. That's right. They change their tactics.
What worked to get us here is not going to work to get us to Act 3. This cannot be Devil Wears Prada 2. We're not going to let our greatest reckoning come from watching our rich bosses have to fly economy.
It's not enough. No, to really focus on change, which is actually much harder to uncover and unpack, means we have to think about shifts in power and perspective. It means navigating displacement. It requires complex, nuanced compromise to find ways forward together, from communicating across political divides and nationalistic thinking to fighting disinformation and intentional obstructors to climate progress.
So we just saw a bunch of scary headlines But even that isn't, these are scary because it's people getting axed from climate desks and newsrooms. And even that's not the full story, though, because news coverage of climate has dropped 38%, the lowest it's been in 2 decades. And even the outlets, even when they are covering it, we're all scared of the news right now, and we're all avoiding it. So this is where the media creators, you all can come in.
So we need to activate the other channels where people are engaged, because at this point, we are an information ecosystem as much as we are an entertainment ecosystem. And the people in this room are all agents of change. You are the leaders in the most influential mediums on the planet, showing up at a climate summit and helping us to co-strategize where we go next.
So let's take a look who's in the room. Heather, let us know who's in the room. Oh, there they are. Okay. There you are, everyone. We mapped you. Our Hollywood Climate Summit community now spans across the entire media ecosystem.
Yes, you see that pale blue dot? That's us. And everyone you know. And everyone you've ever heard of. Every human being. Oh, sorry, wrong speech. See, I tried a Carl Sagan joke, and it kind of worked, but there will be professional
This is the right audience for that.
Yes. There will be professional comedians later, though.
Okay, so we got the who. But what about the how? How can the people in this room be part of the counter strategy and help us navigate the change? The people in this room are the agents of change. So here we have experts, translators, shapers, and all of us attention holders. Does anyone or does everyone identify with one of these categories? Okay, great. That's amazing. Heather.
Most powerfully, all of us are attention holders, which is something that powerful industries responsible for climate and who need to change the most.
That's fossil fuels, plastics, car culture, big agriculture, consumer culture, and many other things.
The list goes on. These industries will pay top dollar in advertising and media to get us to pivot from being agents of change to cultural blockers.
Yes, cultural blockers. This brings us to the reason why we're at the Hollywood Climate Summit. So we at the summit have actually expanded our vision into a new nonprofit. You may have heard of Context Collaborative, an org that's ready to work with our community to bring cultural strategy to what we're calling cultural blockers.
Because media and entertainment can become proponents of polluting industries and in allowing them to continue. They'll hire us, feed our creative work, and show up on our social platforms that we use to connect. They intervene by distracting us, pitting us against each other through false dichotomies and ultimatums instead of the actual problems. And we'll explore that through our programming today about global collaboration and depolarization.
They disinform, actively spreading misinformation to confuse us or scare us into feeling like nothing can change without sacrifice or consequence. And we'll put some of the wild lies and propaganda on the stand for you to decide what's fact or fiction around the big meat and dairy industry later.
And one of their most powerful tactics is to, in fact, delay our progress, not doing the things that are actually hard in favor of maintaining the status quo, pointing us towards false solutions that allow them to keep doing business as usual. We're going to learn from cultural leaders showing us how connection, care, and solutions that tap into your passions are the best way forward, not waiting for a tech savior.
So yeah, cultural blockers are one of the biggest reasons we're not seeing this change of climate change. We'll uncover so many of them throughout the next few days of programming, which was designed intentionally for our community to discuss and deconstruct these blockers and to build counter strategies. Because this room is not just an audience, it's the infrastructure. The people who lift ideas off the page into important rooms, projects, and into the work that people are watching globally. This community is the implementation of the strategy.
And as we expand this work, we invite you to join us in this collective strategy, activating the incredible skill sets and leaders in this room to create a new wave of engaging the public. The invitation to collaborate is intentionally embedded into our new organization's name, Context Collaborative.
So, be in touch with us about your ideas from this week. Join us in hosting think tanks and incubators for specific narrative strategies to push past these cultural blockers and unleash the cultural change for the next chapter of the story. The people in this room are the ones who will lead our industry and expanded community of audiences, fans, players, and contributors through this period of enormous change. Welcome to the Hollywood Climate Summit. Thank you.